And that is our mission statement. The League of Women Voters, Corpus Christi area is a nonpartisan grassroots civic organization which encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. Happy New Year to you all. Let's do it, and let's practice our mission all year long. We do have a quorum. Our faithful scribe has established, and unfortunately, Alice isn't here today. Once again, I'm just going to chair for this meeting. If something happens and there are technical difficulties, Eli is going to step right in, and we are going to get started. All right. The first thing is to approve the minutes. Did everybody get the minutes that Liz sent?
Yes, we did. I did.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody had a chance to review them.
Yes.
Wonderful. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I guess I'll
Oh,
make
we've
the
got
motion.
Chris. Wait 1 second. I see Chris Garcia's hand is up. Is that a yeah? That's not a question. That's a hello. Okay.
Okay, well, I make the motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
All right. Liz, you have that? Sylvia?
Yes,
Comfort?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a second?
Second, Tim.
Tim Dowling
Tim.
seconds. Do we all? Now there's a motion on the floor to approve the minutes submitted by our faithful scribe. Is there, and now we're going to vote on it. Does everyone approve the minutes? You can
Yes.
just do your hand signal if you want. For some folks, it's better for them to
Yes.
stay. So there's that raise hand thing, which I'm trying to learn. Raise your hand or thumbs up. It's better for them to not have to. So Liz, how are we doing? Everything all right on your end? You got every?
I've got everything. We're ready to move on to the treasurer's report. I'm working off of the agenda, Julie, but however you want to do. So next up is the treasurer's report according to the agenda.
Perfect. That's how I want to do, and I want input from everyone because we're moved. This is all happening kind of fast. So the minutes have been approved. Then the treasurer's report. Sandy's not able to be with us today, but she did submit the treasurer's reports, and Liz sent them out. Have you all been able to review them?
She's got 2 months. She has December and November.
All right. So
So I would suggest if you have any questions for her about them not privately, but to contact her. That way she can make a note of it and present it in our February meeting. But that's just a suggestion.
no, I think that's a great suggestion. We also have our 2 ex officio presidents with us. My idea as well, and I'd like input from them, is that since we don't have Sandy and we don't have Alice, we do have a membership meeting coming up on January 13th. And we'll have to review the treasurer's report then, and I think she'll be there. If not, Alice will. And so we could also address questions there, and they can walk through it with us, because these are kind of documents that need to be, I think, walked through from the treasurer. It's kind of hard for us without her. It's good she did the reports, and we can keep looking at it, but it's nice to have them present in case they need to explain something. What do you think, Catherine or Chris? Chris has her hands up. What advice, please? You're muted.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I just glanced over them. I had several questions, but I was going to direct them to Sandy. I saw what I thought probably should be an income line with some stuff in it, but there wasn't. And so I've never been a treasurer, but I was looking at some things closely and trying to figure out why there wasn't an expense in a certain line item. So, but I'm going to direct some questions to her. I would think we could table her report until we might have a chance to, figure it out. And I may be in error, but there were just a couple of things that caught my eye and I thought, I wonder why there's not something there. So.
No, I think that's good. And Liz says also to ask her questions, and of course CC Alice, then she would know. And I didn't know the proper parliamentary terms, and it would be tabling it. But that I think is the best thing. Catherine, any input?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I didn't have, since we've been out of the state for the last week and a half or more, and so I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I really don't have anything to input.
All right, but even on procedure, so it seems to me that we would need a motion to table the treasurer's report so that we can look at it further and discuss it if necessary with Sandy until the next meeting.
I'd make that motion to table the treasurer's report until the next meeting. How about that?
Thank you.
Hang on a
Second,
second. Write that down. Hang on, please.
Okay, you got it. Liz, Sylvia Campos makes a motion to table the treasurer's report until next meeting. That gives everyone time to look at it. If you have any questions, ask Sandy and CC Alice, because she would want to know what the questions are, and she might have the same ones. So.
Okay, so we need a second now.
I'll
Is there
second
a-
that. Eli.
Eli McKay.
That was
Seconds.
Eli, thank you. Okay. And now we need a vote.
And now there's a motion on the table to table the treasurer's report. Can we have a vote? All in favor, say aye, or raise their icon
Aye.
hand.
Aye.
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 Let me put it this way, anybody who says nay, so otherwise it's approved.
Okay, everybody all right?
We're good.
Tom check.
Moving along,
Top
Julie.
10, move on. We're program study advocacy. Did everybody get the report from me?
I did. It was a great report.
Here's the deal. I remember most of it, but I was going to print it off and having those technical difficulties. And I believe all along the way, people have been kept up with it. So really what we've been doing as far as program is defending democracy. How are we doing that? That's because of the recent votes by the city council. There were 5 that didn't take into consideration people's credentials. And also we've been going to meetings, et cetera, et cetera. Read the report. The main thing is I don't want to take up a lot of time on what we've been doing with that, because I think people know. And it's better to ask questions. The next few months, a big chunk of it is the most chunk of it is going to be devoted to voter services. And so I think we're used to having more time to give a report, where it's very important right now for voter services to give a report. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this.
Okay, Julie, I have a quick question. The meeting was yesterday for the library board, and that was the first Tuesday. But then you said in the very bottom of your report that the library board meetings meet on the second Tuesday of the month.
Oh,
I got
that needs to be
confused.
fixed then. Yeah.
Is it the first
so
or
we
the
can fix
second?
it.
'Cause I
It's
have it on my, I'm sorry, I have it on my calendar as
It's the
second.
first.
It's always the first Tuesday of the month.
No,
May I
it's really
correct-
the first. Yeah,
So may I correct your report?
it got moved. Yeah, it got moved because of some other things, but the library board meeting switched in December. It's
So it's
now
now-
back to first Tuesdays.
So 2024, it will
And-
be the first Tuesday of the month.
Yes. And
okay.
so
I'm gonna correct
that's
it.
good. To me, that's perfect. That's the most important part of the report, is that we have observers who are attending the library board meetings, and it's very important that we do that. Also, people can go and make public comment, and it is the first Tuesdays
Okay,
at 10:30, and normally at La Retama. we will communicate with you on those meetings. Here's what else we're gonna do, and it's in that report. We just need to clarify that it's first Tuesdays. Eli has an office. Look at her. Way to go, Eli. It's a nice, peaceful, intimate place to meet, and it's very near near City Hall in La Retama. So we're gonna meet there before the library board meetings, just to kind of make sure that we're all, pardon the pun, on the same page. And if anyone has questions, we can have that happen there, because we're actually building a coalition. It's coming along, and we'll talk more about that, I think, at the membership meeting. We don't want to take up all that time today. So for a few months now, while we watch and observe the library board meetings, which aligns with our principle to defend democracy, because some of the things they want to do violates the First Amendment. For a while, we're going to meet at Eli's office, which is at 702 Tonkawa, from 9 to 10. It's not a fancy meeting. You don't have to like attend the whole time. Drop in, get a cup of coffee, talking points if you need to.
Julie, you put down 702 Furman Avenue.
Well, sorry, it's at Furman and Tonkawa, the corner.
Okay. Okay, I'm
Perfect.
just trying to get this correct, 'cause I don't want to show up at the wrong place.
No, you're good.
Okay, okay, I got it. Thank you. I'll correct it
Okay.
in the report too.
Here's
Thank you.
here's what's important. The meetings, but that's going to happen after the membership meeting. So we have time to still talk about that. In the meantime, the next thing is this board seat. It's supposed to be filled by a board member from Friends of the Library. A person has applied who is a board member from Friends of the Library, and the Friends of the Library board has recommended her. Her name is Jennifer Anderson. Look, yay! Alex has worked with her. I talked to her yesterday. She said it's wonderful if we would call our city council members and ask that she be appointed to the board. Right now, the way it's structured, and we're going to run into this, and we're encouraging our members to apply for boards, committees, and commissions, but there's a tagline that says that usually there's a requirement that the candidate fulfills some kind of requirement. This one is that they're a board member from Friends of the Library, but the city says that's only a preferred candidate. They can still appoint whoever they want. So this next appointment is a really, really big test for democracy, to see if the city will appoint the candidate from the Friends of Library board, who is the preferred candidate and who is also a librarian. If they don't do that, then we know what direction we're headed in. On those last appointments, some of the city council persons said they did not make the reappointments because no one reached out to them regarding the reappointment. So we must reach out and say, please appoint Jennifer Anderson, the preferred candidate who is a librarian. And we need to get that word out to our membership. The application closes on February 9th and the appointment is made on February 23rd. So I think that makes sense. Liz's hand is open. She might want some clarification. But before that also, does that make sense so far to everyone? Head nodding, blah, blah, blah. All right, Liz.
If you could send out, because I don't know this Jennifer Anderson, I don't mind calling the at-large one because my city council person is sitting right in front of me. But I don't mind calling the at-large ones, but I need a little script, just like what you just said. Jennifer Anderson, she's a librarian with A&M Corpus Christi. You just send out a little script, and I'll call, for instance, my at-large ones like Michael Hunter, Jim Klein, I don't need to call, and then there's another one. Aren't there 3 at large? I don't know, Mike Pusley.
Yeah, my person, but do call. We need to call everyone. And right now you don't have a city council person sitting here. You just have a league member. Call all,
True, that's true.
all your city council people, even if they don't represent you, because evidently, my council guy appointed people that weren't in District 1 and did not do the District 1 appointment. So it's just really important, and it's a test of democracy, and our goal is to defend democracy. So let's see, where our democracy is in this city of Corpus Christi right now. All right, look,
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Once it becomes public to the city and it is placed on the agenda, all that information, the application and their resumes is posted along with them. So if you just read their resumes or their application, you'll be able to clearly be able to see, how each person is qualified or not qualified, or
Right.
just FYI, it will be transparent, but if it makes it easier to have a script, I'm sure we can come up with something.
Just one that's like maybe 2 sentences long, that just, because I assume when I call each city council person and the mayor, because I figure I'd call rather than email, that I just need, my name is Elizabeth Riggle. I would like you to appoint Jennifer Anderson because she's blah, 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 blah. Like 3
She's a
points.
librarian.
She's a
No, I think
librarian,
we
she's
can
a
do
member of
it.
the Friends of, she's a member of the Friends of the Library and has been recommended by something just real brief, so I don't come off as being stupid.
You're not going to be. They're just going to count numbers. It's okay. Alex asked a really good question. We're going to have to put some muscle behind it. So
Yeah.
like I said, it's a test for democracy. Kudos to Brittany. She put out some kick-ass social media before for the other library stuff. So really, honestly, it is all this is a work in progress, as is our country and our democracy, and we're all going to do the best we can.
Okay.
The next membership meeting is February 13th. That gives us 10 days, and we'll have stuff at the meeting to move people to action. And I am certainly more than willing to take any like input from you all on how to make this better, like any suggestions. So
Okay,
the
give me
main
some,
thing though is it's 5:20 and we know this is going on, and we, as important as this is, we have a really, really huge few months ahead of us. What I have learned is I dream big, we all do, but we're limited because we're a grassroots organization and there's only so much we're going to be able to do. And our leadership is amazing, and you all do a bunch of other stuff. But right now, there's never been anything more important than defending democracy and getting the voter services, whatever they need. And so we should move on to them and let them start telling us what's going on. They're going to need volunteers. And I hear we already have another new volunteer that's going to take over voter registration. So I'm going to kick this on to Alex.
let's
right.
stop just a second, Julie. You keep talking about the next membership meeting and you've given us 3 different dates and 2 different months.
I'm sorry. Because I'm looking at a calendar and I'm thinking it's January. Remember, the big thing about we moved to second Saturdays from now on, from 10:30 to noon.
That's the next membership meeting.
The
Is
next
okay.
membership meeting, excuse me, is January 13th.
Okay. And do you have a location?
It's at Del Mar.
Okay. Okay, great.
And
Okay, that's
Alice
Del Mar
will give us,
College? Del Mar
yes,
College,
the historic campus or East Campus.
right?
Alice will give us more details.
Okay,
She has said it. We have La Retama reserved for February and March.
okay, okay, okay. Just trying to get everything down. Okay.
No, that's
All right.
perfect.
So what do you want to do next? Are we moving on to voter services?
We Need to go to voter services. They got a lot more on the plate than program right now.
Okay. Where's Alex? She's up.
Thanks,
Getting off.
Julie. I will share my
Yeah.
screen here. Okay. So sorry for my last minute notes. I was still in vacation mode. But we've been working on stuff over the break. So kind of the top things is high school VR / TAMUCC focus, which pretty much really focusing on that leading up to the last day to register to vote, which is February 5th. We have some stuff already scheduled thanks to Liz's hard work, as well as contacts that we have just had from last year as well. So we will be at TAMUCC on the 23rd. This is a really large class with Dr. Huerta. He invited us last time. We got 52 people registered. So this is a class of about 150 to 200 people, an intro government class. So I will be reaching out probably tomorrow to at-large members to get people to come help with it. It is January 23rd, 12:30 to 1:45 in the Center for Instruction, but I'll send out that email with more information tomorrow. Liz has been able to get us into Miller on January 11th. The time I think is still needing to be confirmed. Yeah, okay. Just again, people were on Christmas break and the holidays, but that will typically be for most of the day. Also January 18th at the Lindale Rec Center, potluck, 6 to 8. So that sounds pretty fun. I'll be going and helping Liz and joining in on the potluck. I have to decide what I'll be bringing. Correct spelling is Lindale Senior Center. Thank you for that. Lindale Senior Center.
No, it's not Senior Center. It's Lindale Rec. It's Lindale Recreation Center, and Lindale spelled Lindale.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's okay. But it's the rec center where the splash pad and everything is. The Senior Citizen Center is very protective and doesn't let us neighbors in, even though it's ours. Anyway.
Cool, thank you. And then Ray, waiting to hear back. And I also reached out to West Oso. I have a contact there to see if we could get in with their high schoolers. So just waiting to hear back. I emailed her today. And then a warm welcome to our VR committee chair, Liz. Liz has agreed to help, and it is very much needed. I'm so happy that Liz is taking the charge with the high schoolers. But obviously Liz cannot register 90 high schoolers alone. So we definitely, I know I will be going as much as possible, and obviously we'll be reaching out to VDRs to help. And voter guides. So we will be sending out the questions to candidates tomorrow. Me and Eli will be getting together, and it has been ongoing. And I just wanted to shout out Eli, Chris, and Alice for all of their help with this. It's been a group effort. Alice came in clutch getting us the emails we didn't have like so fast. So yeah, that should be sent out tomorrow. And then we will be pestering everyone to send us answers. And then VDRs, this is on my to-do list for myself. I think I probably mentioned it before, but I want to focus on getting an all-encompassing list of league members that are deputized. Then I don't have to send out emails to bother people who maybe aren't as into voter registration, and just more direct. And then also I'll be sending out information again on how people can become volunteer registered deputies, VDRs, volunteer deputy, coming into the primaries and general election. And then I did get an email. So the League of Women Voter Texas is providing statewide voter guides again, and they're providing 2,000 free guides as they did before. Again, this is a bit confusing to me. Maybe someone has experienced this before, but I mean, because we're doing our local guides, but we are doing like our representatives. I guess that is local. So this would be senators. This would be other things. So we're gonna have 2 voter guides pretty much, but So we need to place an order by January 8th, and they should arrive no later than February 5th. If we want to purchase more than the 2,000 free guides, it will be the same price as before, and it'll be $200 for 1,000 additional guides. We can get them in English or Spanish. So I know we made a decision together last time, and obviously last time it was a primary, or not a primary, it was a constitutional amendment election, and we got 2,000 free English guides, and then we purchased 1,000 Spanish. So I don't know what, or yeah, Sylvia.
I thought that we could have used more. I can't believe it in the constitutional, and I hate to say it, but I think people are really interested, not hate to say it, it's a good thing, that people are actually, going out to go vote. So I'm suggesting we order more English, and the Spanish, we had more than enough. So maybe cut back on the Spanish. I don't know if we wanted to do that or leave it the same, but increase the English for sure.
Okay, Alex is gonna facilitate the conversation since it's her chunk of the agenda. Alex, that's cool, right? You got Sylvia, and then who's next?
Can you see me? I mean, I can't see anybody else because of the screen.
I can stop sharing if you want.
Okay. A quick question. It was mentioned in November that Teresa Carrillo, who is a member, and she also was the person who was the head of the nominating committee a year or two ago, that she took a number of Spanish ones out to areas of Corpus Christi that were underserved. In other words, I think it took them like to little bodegas, little communities, little areas that she knew. So maybe we need to order another 500. I don't know if the comment says only 1,000 or not, but I would say let's increase the English to the number that Sylvia said, and then add another 500 or so of Spanish. Is it possible to divide it up like that, Alex, or is it strictly only sets of thousands?
I'll have to double check. I don't remember from when I placed the order last time.
Okay.
I do kind of feel like it might be in sets of 1,000 if they're doing it like the $200.
Well, I tell you what, if we do a set of, I think it's important that we set, even if we left with their leftovers, I think it's important to have another set of 1,000. So the $200 I'll pay for. Okay, so that way we've got it. That way we don't have to worry about it. I think Chris had her hand up.
I
Eli,
was just wondering, I know we're talking
Alex's-
budgetary things.
Yeah, wait 1 minute.
And
though,
Alex,
Chris,
you
I'm
haven't
sorry.
mentioned the Spanish translation, but in the budget, we really need the board. I'm not a voting member, but the board needs to have a handle on what kind of money can you spend on English printing, Spanish printing, and the state guides.
Okay.
You know, I don't know what the final amount of money we cleared at the Women's Equality event in August. And I don't have a figure. I know the silent auction cleared 2,100, but I know there was other funding. So somebody needs to have a really good handle. And then we need to know, Alex, I know you've pursued a Spanish translator. Has the board made a decision to absolutely produce a second Spanish language voter guide?
Okay.
I mean,
I think so.
Go ahead.
Wait 1 minute, everyone. First off, Alex is facilitating the conversation, and she can certainly answer Chris, but then after that, she's going to go in order of the hands that are up. Alex, you take over.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Chris, I mean, I didn't hear back from you or Alice or anybody, so I didn't really know where we were at with the
Well,
translation.
you had gotten a price quote, right? From a
Yes.
reputable Spanish translation firm.
Yeah, the League of like Woman Voter Guide people sent it to me.
From Austin. Okay. Is it a local person translator?
It's someone in Texas. I don't know where
Okay.
in Texas.
And I saw that and I apologize. There's been a death in my extended family. And so I've really been really busy the last 2 or 3 weeks, plus an ailing husband. So I didn't respond back, but that sounded like a pretty good bid. Was it a penny a word? I think it's what I read on your,
Oh, I'm trying to find it now.
I believe it was 14 cents per word.
Okay.
14. I may have misread it. I've really been scattered. So,
Oh, here we go. I just found it.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
Eli, that's correct, Eli. 14.
14 cents a word.
And that's
Okay.
a special nonprofit rate.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
And
Or is
we
that
know
just-
that in past years, we've always they input into vote 411 and then we receive the translation from that.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, the last time we talked to Alice was gonna reach out to people that she knew who had offered to translate for free. So
Mhm.
I definitely think this is something we're gonna have to check in.
Okay,
with
but we're
Alice
right
about.
on deadline. I mean, we've got
Yeah,
so
I
many
know.
things to do in the next 3 weeks to get responses back, input into a template. You know, I'm looking at 2 publications that I need to help you produce. And so I'm just hoping that we're moving along on that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you send an email and there's only so much, like, you don't wanna like send it 10 times. I don't know.
I understand.
I get what you're saying. And I've been guilty of not responding as well.
No, everybody's getting back from the holidays. It's okay. This is
No,
why
it-
this is an important board meeting. We're kind of using it to move forward. The next membership meeting is all about business. And I know that some deadlines have to happen before that. But as far as it stands, the state can pay for they already have Spanish voter guides and they have English ones, and we just need to decide the number. And Alex, Eli has her hand up.
Oh yeah, Eli, do you wanna go?
And then me.
I gotta let my dog in real
Yes,
quick.
I do. I've been waiting so patiently. But my reminder to the group is that these guides are from the state, will not include our local guide. And so my opinion is that we take the free ones, and however y'all want to do it, Spanish, English, that's cool. I don't think we should spend more money on it, because I think that any money that we spend should go for our local guides. Because that's going to be the bulk of the candidates as it is.
Yeah, I agree. And like my next point on here was just to get with Brittany to get a QR code, like postcard, like branded League of Women Voters, and then it sends people right to the online version of our voter guides. And I think we could get, I think I printed postcards a while ago and it was like, 500 for like $80 or something. So I think that would be a good thing to do, and we could just put them alongside with the voter guides for people who would rather look online.
Okay. So
Okay.
Alex, what you need, institutionally, you have to respond to the state by, what's the deadline? The 8th?
The 8th, so next Monday.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you're going to have a conversation with Alice,
Yeah,
and she's going to have to make an executive decision. We could make a recommendation, I think, if someone wanted to make a motion on how many to get from the state, but really, I think what Alex and Eli said about devoting more of our finances and energy to the local are really good suggestions. But Liz has something she wants to say.
I'm looking at the budget, and under expenses, we listed with the voter guide, voter service publications. For some reason, we have $222.80 is what the expenses were, and then in the voter services publications, we have $150. Now, I thought we put more money in that, but anyway, like I said, I'll be happy to do it where we could, with the locals and all. I mean, I'll donate $200 to publish either Spanish or English or whatever, but $200 is just straight out done for the number. I like the idea of taking what we can get for free from the state and then do the rest, take my $200 or whatever the money's in the budget and use it for local.
Yeah.
But I might add, we've always been short of Spanish language, and we really did get a good sense of needing
Yeah.
more Spanish language,
Mhm.
even if it was just constitutional amendments. So now we're coming into a primary, and we probably ought to think, maybe the board might think primary is going to lead to the general election, which is in a different budget year. So we
Mhm.
still have this bucket of money that we
Yeah.
specifically raised in August. And we just need to, if the board can, with Alice and Alex kind of, and Eli, making sure that we've got enough. I have not gotten a response back. I've been, for the last 10 days, trying to reach Joel Meyer of the Houston Chronicle, because he had already said he would print at whatever cost we were paying the Caller Times, which was about 10 or either 9 or 10 cents an issue. And when I met with Alex, we talked about that this issue for the primary may only be 12 pages, right, Alex? As we talked about what the primary looked like 2 years ago, by the time you add only opposed candidates. So a lot of this depends on the layout of what, we'll have an expense from the Houston Chronicle. But I think translation wise is going to be the more expensive unless Alex can get free translation. And she has to be absolutely sure that if somebody reads after them, that people are in agreement, so like I said, I don't have a vote, but I tend to like somebody that the state has used that has maybe had no concerns as you start to translate. But that does sound, 14 cents a word. And if each candidate writes that 80 or 85 words, you kind of have to guesstimate what it's going to cost. So
That's a lot.
Be
It's a lot of
interesting,
money, 14 cents a word. That's a lot.
well, this is the first time ever that we will have tried a primary or any Spanish language guide that we've produced. So we want to make sure it's, that we're
accurate.
above board and doing everything that we can, even,
Yeah.
but we've promised, we said it numerous times, we're going to produce a Spanish language voter's guide. So
Yeah, we did that because we said we're doing it for several reasons. The major one, to empower voters, and we fought long and hard on redistricting. And our main argument for redistricting is there is a large swath of Corpus Christi that is underrepresented. And unfortunately, most of them are not that it's unfortunate to speak Spanish, but the Spanish speakers are not being represented. So we were trying to pay attention to that central Corpus Christi and those areas that were just that were mentioned, that Carrillo went and gave them to bodegas, taquerias. So this is our time. People love our voters' guides, but honestly, the people I hear that love them are, they're well represented. So let's get into those areas. I would recommend that Alex, Eli, y'all flesh this out with Alice. And then you already had a committee meeting as well with Chris, because she helps with the preparation of the voter guides. Our next, let's see if I can get these dates right. Our next membership meeting is January 13th. And that is 10 days. That means that we can't answer the state question. I think that the recommendation is order what we had last time, increase Spanish. That's what I'm hearing. So let Alice know that, and y'all decide the number. And then by January 13th, is that a deadline that's going to mess with our local voter guide? Because you just sent out the questions. Is it more in sync? Do we have a little more time with that?
Yeah, these are just like, I think the deadline is so early because for like sending them, like mailing them.
Okay.
Well, Alex, when did you tell the candidates that they need to be responding by inputting into Vote 411? What is their deadline? Because your letter with the questions needs to address that.
I don't, let me check.
It may have been on your shared screen thing a minute ago. I don't know.
Let's see. So we got pushed back a bit. I mean, we're probably just gonna have to give them like a week or something to get things moving.
And how many candidates do you have in your database that you're reaching out to? Just for a point of reference.
I don't remember. Let me look. It is 42 people.
Wow. Catherine may want to weigh in because Catherine, I remember you had to go chasing after some candidates 2 years ago.
It sounds like every year people chase people, or every time.
It always is.
All right, and this year there might be an added challenge in that,
Hey.
you know, we might have to extra chase because some people don't think we're nonpartisan, which we are. I feel like the Spanish, that voter guides being in Spanish should be an incentive for people to answer the questions as well.
Alex, I was going to ask you one other question. Would the state office tell you what they spent on the primary 2 years ago in their Spanish language? Because we've all used a similar number of words or responses plus a photo. Would state tell you what their bill was? What did they pay that company? It should be public record from there for them to share with league members.
What was that? Sorry.
This is an L. It may be on their website. I'm off.
What they spent, you think?
Anel, can you hear me?
Yep.
Do you think you can help them find that information between now and when they have to check in with Alice? Kind of help them with this?
I was just thinking it would be on the state website. I can look while y'all talk.
All right. Well,
And
we
you're
can't
looking-
talk for a lot longer in that.
Okay.
Other people
Well, no,
have
I
to
meant
report.
between now and the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, can I weigh in with voter services with the DVR, and then we can move on if you want to, Julie, is that okay?
I think so. Is that all right with everyone? So where we stand right now is that the voter guides are in the works. Alex and Eli have been working on them along with Alice and Chris. Alex is going to check in with Alice to kind of hone up some numbers and see exactly what we want to do. And
Yes.
we'll have a
Or-
lot more information by the next membership meeting, which is January 13th.
Yeah, and was the general consensus that we do want to spend money on to buy some more of these statewide primary guides?
Not so much
Not
statewide,
statewide,
I
but
would think
local.
local.
Okay, I was getting confused. Okay, thank you. So
Yeah.
I will just request the free ones for the statewide.
And then
Okay.
add a few Spanish language is what I heard Liz say.
Yeah, we heard that. I heard that as well, that we wanted a few more Spanish because Teresa Carrillo ran out getting them to the central city, which is underrepresented. And that's a part of the city we're going to pay attention to with our local guides.
Sure. I just
Okay.
donate $200 and y'all use it as you see fit. So with either local or state guides. Can I go ahead and do my little bit with the DVR now?
Is that good, Alex?
Yeah, that's all
You
that
got
I had.
You got everything you need to move forward?
Yeah, I feel a little bit of dread with these voter guides, but
It's
you
okay.
know.
Look, you're not in this alone. So if you need something, you just let us know. Okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Me?
Go Liz. Yes.
Okay, I have a couple of asks for everybody. I didn't realize Art Walk is this Friday, January 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. I do not know who to contact. I don't have any type, I don't have that information now. It may have come to me, but I don't have it I don't know. Is there anyone who's interested in doing the art walk or who will be there representing another group? I know like lots of times Eli is there for her group or Alex is there for her group. I'm not going to be able to be there from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm have something else to do. Is there anyone who's interested in doing that?
I don't know if Art Walk is always the best location
Okay.
to do voter registration, to be quite honest. And
Okay.
it's like the most hostile sometimes, which is like never fun. So I would
Okay.
say, it's a busy time of the year, so I would say let's just not do it
Let's
this
skip
month.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, that answers that. The next question is, if you are a DVR or know someone who's a DVR, and I know Alex brought this up too, would you please send me your name? I know Ruth is, Alex is, Eli is, I am, Sandy. It's just trying to get all the information. I know it's been the Christmas holidays. I volunteered for this right before the Christmas holidays. And honestly, anyway, so if you are a DVR and you're willing to work between now and February 1st, that would be wonderful. Raul Ramirez did recommend to me, and I concur, that we will shut it down as far as registering voters from February 1st until after the March primary, March 5th. And the reason to do that is so that there's no confusion and nobody comes back and gets hostile or mad at us saying, I registered to vote February 20th and they wouldn't let me vote March 5th primaries. And so I just think it'll alleviate a lot of problems. So
I still register people. I just make it very clear to them, hey, unfortunately in the state of Texas, you have to register a month ahead of time. You cannot vote in this election, but you can vote in the next. Obviously that's like, anytime I can register someone, I'm going to register them. So even if I register people the day of and I'm like, well, like you can't vote today, but you can vote in 6 months. So.
Right. I'm just not going to be as avid of a push. I'm going to concentrate on other areas. My avid push right now is trying to get into the high schools.
Yeah.
And so Miller is tentative for January 11th, thanks to Chris and her wonderful niece, Marcy. I don't have the times or anything else. If you could just put me down, if you're a DVR and you want to work it, we can either do shifts or however you want to do it. I'm going to contact her next Monday or Tuesday, Monday, and go from there. Ray High School is the same thing. I'm going to contact the principal, Roxanne Cuevas, about getting in, and I'll do that also. The Lindale one, that's my neighborhood gathering, and if we can ask people to register to vote then. So that's 3, and then Alex brought up West Oso is 4. So if anyone knows of any other one.
And Liz, I will send out an email to all of membership tomorrow using the league email service thing. And I'll start compiling a list of who is deputized in their emails.
Thanks.
And then I can share it with you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And then Alex, if Alex sees opportunity during the months that might not be the most popular to register people, but she needs people, then we need to fill those spots too.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to. Raul just recommended it, and I'd already thought about it and all that. It's just a good idea because I don't want people to get mad at the league and then hostile, and then they start posting it online and all that other kind of stuff. Well, I registered to vote through the League of Women Voters, and then I couldn't vote. So I'm just that's my standpoint. But if Alex or Eli or anyone else wants to register voters, that's fine through their groups and everything. I just think it's a safety measure.
People are gonna complain no matter what. And any contact you can have with someone to register them and give them a little bit of information. Obviously it's comfort level, and I do understand. I just tell them, hey, like the state of Texas does it this way and it's silly. So you should vote in the next election when you can vote. So I kind of use it as a I don't know. But again,
Yeah.
like 100% focus on the high schools, focus on before national or last day to register to vote. 100%.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
there's that group of high school students that don't qualify till like, there's some that aren't going to be able to vote anyway, that they have to
Mhm.
learn that until,
Right.
Yeah.
probably when they graduate. So it's a good learning opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad you volunteered to take this on. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome. I'm done. I'm done. So
Okay.
onward.
Tim has a question or a comment.
Hey, Liz, did you ever hear back from Veterans Memorial High School? We talked about that late in the year, and can't remember how we left it, but it seemed like the ball was in Veterans Court. Did they ever get back to you?
I never made contact. I don't have any information. I never
Sorry.
made
I'm
contact.
That was
sorry.
me.
I said Liz, I meant to say Alex, sorry.
Yeah. So once we couldn't do the last day to register to vote, and then I reached out just to see if we could do a different day, and I haven't heard back.
Okay, let me follow up with him then.
Yeah, and I'm happy to reach out. I'm sure it'd be good or better if you reached out, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll bug my government teacher friend.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any help we can get, if you can reach out and set a date, if you know, I mean, I got into Miller High School super easy because Chris said, my niece is a vice principal there. And it seems to be vice principals and counselors are our doors in. But it's very difficult to get into the high school website to find those names. You really have to search. And I've been doing a lot of searching and things like that and trying to compile lists. I've also got a very short, to the point letter that's like 3 sentences long to send out to the high school counselors and assistant principals trying to get in. So it's all just a learning process. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to register in the month of January. I'll do my best, and that's all I can do. So I'll just do my
That's
best.
huge. That's awesome. Your best is what's necessary. And that is, pardon the pun again, the best thing. I think we're good with this. Voter services, are y'all good? Are you good, Alex, Liz? All
Yes,
right,
I'm done.
let's go on to communication media. That is Tim Dowling.
All right, guys, we had a lot of stuff revolving around the library board. As you probably saw, there was a long article in the Caller on Sunday, which is the best day of the week to have it. And we had, by my last count, 3, maybe 4 stories on channel 3. So that was very positive. Julie and I had 2 letters to the editor that happened to end up back to back on the same day, I think about 2 weekends ago, 2 Sundays ago. And on a related point, not media related, but I made a public information request to the city for the communications with the council members about how they decided. And I've gotten, I think, 87 documents. I'm about halfway through, but they don't really say too much. But it does reinforce the point, I forget who made it earlier in this discussion, that a lot of what I've gotten is an email from somebody who says, gee, I really want to be on the library board council member, please appoint me, and here's why. So probably about 60% of what I've seen so far is that. I haven't gotten any text messages, which I asked for, and I need to follow up to see if, there are those things, but it just reinforces the importance of this Miss Anderson lady following that pattern and us telling the council members that we would like to see her appointed. Because I saw a lot of that. I didn't see too much of emails to council members saying, hey, appoint this person. It was appoint me. So she ought to be clued in that she ought to do that. That'll be consistent with what they've seen. And the other reason is, one thing that really distressed me about what I saw, how the city council appoints these folks, is when they had their vote on, I think it was November 14th, you would have thought after the slate was announced, here's my 5 people, you would have thought there would have been discussion. Okay, well, why do you have number 3? What's the merits of number 4? How's that better than person number 1 or number 2 is already there who wants a reappointment? There was no discussion at all. They didn't discuss them a bit. They just said, okay, we're going to vote. What's your vote, Council 1, 2, 3, 4? And they tallied it up, and that was it. So if we don't tell them about these qualifications of these people, they're not going to do it themselves. Unless they've changed things, and maybe there's been a lot of media attention, but kind of the vibe I'm getting is that won't happen. The other thing in news from the media is that my last day as your media director will be February 29th. I'm going to be moving with my wife to the Washington DC area about a month later. I've already talked to Chris Garcia, who I took this job over from, and Chris has volunteered to take on my responsibilities starting on March 1. So thank you, Chris. That takes a big burden off of me, and I really am very grateful that you're going to do that. So my last official day as a board member will be the 29th of February. We're tentatively scheduled to move on the 28th of March. And if any of you guys are over in the DC area, let me know, and I'd be happy to show you what I know about the area. We're not going to live in the district proper. We're going to rent a house for a while, either on the Virginia or Maryland side of the border, and then kind of get to know the area better and kind of figure out where we want to live. But it's possible we might not like the winter up there, so it's possible we might be coming back. So we'll see how we're going to like it. But anyway, that's my report.
Wow, congratulations, Tim, though, and thank you for everything you've done.
Well, thank you, Julie. It's been a pleasure working with all of you guys. I got to know this group in the redistricting back in 2021, and your intelligence and commitment and hard work just bowled me over. And I said, I want to be a part of this organization.
Good. Liz has her hand up.
Real quickly, Tim, did any of this stuff with the way they appointed the 5 board members, did any of that reach the level for an ethics complaint?
I haven't seen anything that would indicate that to me, but I'll tell you, I don't know much about the ethics code. I didn't see any conflicts of interest or anything like that. It was just kind of what I have not gotten yet. In addition, I haven't gotten text messages. And there was an article that the Moms Defending Liberty folks posted on their website and said, hey, we met with like-minded council members. And if you're meeting with a council member, I would assume if you want them to do something, you're ordinarily going to say, here are my talking points in a piece of paper. So I'm hoping that that will be produced. But I've seen nothing to indicate there's any, anything. I mean, there was political skullduggery. I mean, there was obviously, it was an arranged vote. So when you look at the video of November 14th, Sylvia makes the routine motion to appoint the 3 people. And I think the mayor says something like, okay, everybody okay with that? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get quick, no. So that was obviously prearranged. But I'm not an expert on the Public Information Act, but I've been given to understand that as long as you don't actually physically meet, you can kind of get around it by council person. I'm just picking the numbers in order, not how it really was. The first council person can go to the second council person, hey, I'm voting this way, you with me? Second one can go to the third person, hey, you with us? Third one go to the fourth one, hey, are you with us? And that's probably legal, but it's getting around it. So
Okay, thank you.
Well, may I just say something, Tim? I'm so grateful to, I'm sure everybody here, just with your work and your determined of making sure that, that the word got out for the league. I mean, you did a great job, Tim, and I'm sorry to see you and your family leave for Washington DC, but hey, we have a place to go, guys.
I'll have to visit my wife about that one, but I'm going to take you out to dinner, but I'm not there putting you up in the house.
I'm already inviting us all, but anyway,
okay. All right.
no,
Well,
I'm kidding, but thank you, Tim. I really do appreciate everything we do. And you're right. I mean, it did start with our, redistricting, and this is what happens when we catch that bug. We don't let go. We know that we need, people like us that just want to do the right thing, and it's great to know that we're amongst some good people that are standing up for the right thing. So just say thank you, Tim. Thank you to your wife as well for.
That's very kind of you. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, for being your supporter there. So we're gonna miss you. And sadly, it's that you're probably not going to find too much in that, discovery or for the public information, because, obviously they did discuss it, because there's no other way that these 5 exact names would have come up. But, it is what it is, and that's where voting comes up, and hopefully some other people will be running for office and making some changes in the future. That's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Well said. Well, I'll
That
tell
was
you,
well said. It certainly activated people, and redistricting has too. So there's people out there that want to do something, and hopefully we'll just keep finding them. Thank you for your announcement, Tim. You able to come to the membership meeting on the 13th?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to be, I've already started, once the new year hit, I started saying, okay, we got to get moving about this. So we're doing the triage on the house stuff, throw away, donate, whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
that's a full-time job right now, but I plan to be there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you. I think the library board appointments, what a lot of people have said to me is, what can we do about it? And we've been trying to do things about it. One of my first answers is the ballot. You just need to vote, who, people are talking to each other and who they are and where that is. So, yeah, we need to register people and do exactly what we're doing. The other is, it might be something y'all want to think about for program next year. They're clearly, we want to encourage people to join boards, committees, and commissions, but if there are roadblocks for them to do that, that's a roadblock for democracy as well. And maybe we should focus our efforts on firming that up, the ability for people to participate in their government and for things to be transparent. So on that note, it is 6:06. We had Tim. The next person up would be Sylvia on membership.
Mine's very short and quick. I emailed you the report. We have 111 members, 16 sustaining, 3 student, 1 lifetime, 55 individual, 2 friends of the league, and 2 member households. We have 34. So I also sent you all the report of the lapsed members and the report of the active members. We did make an attempt, Sandy and I, to do an outreach to some of the members. And, like just now, I received an email from Raul and asking, did my membership lapse? Yes. But if you'll look, according to the system, they've received numerous emails, but we don't get a copy. I don't know what they send, but because it just says 9, I'm assuming 9 is the number of emails that they have been sent. I'm not sure, but from now, from now on, we'll continue to do outreach, to try to text and call and email as I see them. I go ahead and do it, but I think it's something that we're going to have to do on a regular basis, because we have over 100 members that have lapsed, and a lot of them, because I sent you the report, so you'll be able to recognize that these are familiar names, and that there should be no, really, it's about just reminding them. I know that I received a text from someone about my Sierra Club. They're like, did you forget about re-upping? And it was just a quick text, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So then I just went and paid. So sometimes it's just as easy as that, but it does require time and effort, and if anybody else wants to help me, the names are there and we can work something out. And again, it's something like, hey, did you know that your membership lapsed? That's it. Very simple. And if they know that they're getting it from somebody that they know, then they're more than happy to respond back. So that's my report.
Anybody have questions or want to volunteer? All right. Well, you should also be thinking about who can, not if fulfill or fill the membership spot. Sylvia's term is coming up. All right.
Yes,
So,
and I've been doing it longer than the 2 years because I filled in for someone else. So
mhm.
so anyway, I'm happy to turn it over.
Okay. All right, thank you all. And the next we have up is Brittany. Website and social media.
Yes, I didn't have a report for this week or for this month, but I did want to say, as we're going into the new year, it's, we're going to be ramping up for the primaries. And so we'll really be focusing on updating our website to be reflective of that. Some of the things like this, the getting people to do public comment for the school or the public library board. I created that, and I think it's a really good post, but I think it would be more beneficial if we had like some follow-on actions, and so it's not just like this is what happened, and then people don't really know like what happened afterwards. I always like to do a follow-up post, so I know Julie, you're kind of leading those efforts. So if we see stuff like that in the future where we need people to come in and make public comment, or there's a call to action for something, if I could just have like some talking points afterwards to follow up on. And I know, there's also issues, well, Alice needs to approve this and that, but I just want to put that on people's radar if we're going to have a call to action from the membership, if we have like a follow-on action for that. And then, yeah, like I said, we'll be focusing on ramping up for the primaries. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I don't have really too much for website and social media.
I got a comment. I really liked your questionnaire, Brittany.
Which one was?
At the very homepage it asks about.
Oh,
I hadn't seen it. I hadn't been to the website. Have y'all seen it? Have y'all been to the website? If you go to to our website, the homepage, if you will scroll down, she posted a couple of our issues, and we can vote on which ones we feel are important to us. And so it's a polling of the membership, or I don't know if it's just membership. I guess it is. Do you have to be a member to vote, Brittany?
I can't remember how I set it up. It might have to be a member, but I know it's that questionnaire at the front. I just want to gauge and see like what issues people were really interested in. And thanks for bringing that, because then we can also use that for other information, especially coming up with the elections and stuff. There's a lot of tools on the Club Express for us to use.
Yeah, I had not ever seen that used, so thank you for doing that. And I think it brings hopefully some traffic if we want to share it with on our media. I don't know, just
Yeah.
it was nice to see. I'm like, oh, there's a poll here. Anyway, but thank you. I don't know how long have you had it, Brittany?
It might have been up there for a few months. I think, yeah. I think I just like threw on there. I was like, oh, let me add this, but I didn't advertise it to anyone. I just thought it was a cool feature to have on there.
Okay, well, I had not seen it. I just decided to scroll down and see what was going on, and there it was. So thank you.
Oh, and then sorry, one more thing. So the pictures, I think if in the future, if we take any pictures, I know no one's a photographer and we all have like our phones or something, but I think when I was putting together this year-end post, and there were some pictures I want to use that were from the voters, what was it called? The voter. So there's some images in there, but I can't take those pictures out. And even if I screenshot, they're very pixelated. So what I want to start doing, I'll have a folder in Google Drive where you can just like dump all of your photos if they're from events or something. So I have those raw files, and then also Chris can be able to access those raw files as well.
Okay. All right, that's really good. Thanks, Brittany. The next on the agenda is we have DEI. Eli and Lois is here to talk about March the March. Eli, would you like to go now, or you want Lois to go before you?
Hello, Eli.
She might have had to, or they might have had to go take care of a puppy. They have 5 that we've gotten to babysit before. They're precious. Why don't we go to Lois since she's on?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lois. Thank
this
you
is
for
just what-
joining us.
Thank you. It's good to see faces I haven't seen for a while. The March is coming up, and there's been some discussion among a few of the members to try and go ahead and put something together this year. Probably make it very low key since March is coming up right around us. Probably either March 2nd or March 9th, probably a 2nd because the 9th we're getting into spring break. But we'll see what's available. And just wanted to get the feedback from the board and see if and answer any questions. Let's see, I don't know that we're gonna really, at this point, we probably aren't gonna do very much, but have a very low key event, which will be good. You know, just to recognize and honor that date because women did fight really hard for the right to vote. So anybody have any comments, suggestions? I see a no, I think.
Anil.
And now you're muted.
But we couldn't hear her.
Okay. I just wanted to add, Lois and I have had a couple of discussions about this, and the goal is to strip it down tremendously this year, because it is such a late start. We've had minimal input from and we're trying, Lois is going to work on rectifying that, getting everybody in to talk about it. But just making it possible March for with a starting speaker, the March, and an ending speaker. We've got a podium, we have a sound system. Then if we keep it really simple, we can do what we did that first year that we started doing this when Sandra and Lois worked on it. And they have the podium and everything set up at the end. I'd like to talk to the lady at the city, and I've got it on my calendar to do that tomorrow, and find out what areas would be available and how much it would cost. So that's the reason we primarily wanted to bring it to the board, was just to make sure that we could dip into those funds if we needed to. The plan, like no vendors, no big line of speakers, and that type of thing. So that's why I asked Lois to come on today. She's kind of steering this at this point, and where I had initially said that I would drop out, if we can keep it simple, then I would definitely be involved in planning and executing and whatever else.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Liz?
Do you still want to we mentioned at the November meeting about streamlining everything, which I think, yes, let's do that. What do you want to do about the scholarships or scholarship?
I don't think we have a timeline available for that. You have to send out to everybody. like I said, this year, since that, to my knowledge, was never decided on what to do with those funds, make a scale down version and keep it as low key, not as low key. We still want a good turnout, but keep it as inexpensive and uncomplicated as
Yeah, it
possible.
sounds more like you're going back to the roots of it. And
Yeah. We
as
want it
far
to
as
be
the
a
scholarship,
March.
yeah, the scholarship funds, I think that's something a discussion we would have to have later on. Also, of course, with contributors, but we need Alice to be here for that.
Yeah, I don't think we should try to go forward with a scholarship this year. It's
No.
it's an involved process in getting it out to the students and getting the responses and having a committee go over those responses, applications. Sylvia?
What did you say about the city? What is it that you get from the city? Is there something
We
that I
have
can
to,
do?
if we go to a park, we have to have a city permit.
Oh,
We have to pay for a minimum of 2 hours. There are, let's see, there's an application fee, there's a permit fee, there's a
oh,
rental fee. And then we also have to have event insurance, which was $200. $520 was for the Great Lawn rental. A different place might be a lot cheaper. The security deposit is $1,000, but it's refunded after the March. So that it eliminates, a lot of the things that we had. A lot are donated. A lot of the expenses have been donated. So if we, keep it to those rental fees, or I hesitate to go back to City Hall, to the park like we did before, because that has no exposure for the March. If we can keep it somewhere along Shoreline Drive and get the most exposure that we can, that's my vote anyway. So that would probably involving the city. I mean, any march we do involves having, a permit, but that's
well,
it.
only because I attended uh, a march last month, and I asked them about a permit, and they said they didn't get one. So I'm like,
Where did they march?
right there by where the exposition hall used to be. I don't know what that
Oh,
area is called.
that may not be on city property.
No, it's on city property.
How is that Water's Edge around
It is.
where Memorial was?
On the other side, like between Cheryl Park and the Water's Edge, I guess. It's that green area, the green
Yeah.
box area.
Yeah.
They didn't get a permit, so that's why I was just wondering.
They're probably lucky nobody else was there.
Yeah. 'Cause,
No,
I mean, you have to make sure
the
that,
police were there. No, the police were there to make
No,
sure nothing
Not
would
the police,
happen.
but another organization didn't have that same area booked for that same time.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
how do you know that you have that area available if you don't go through the city?
I'm just saying that I attended and I asked them, man,
That's what
y'all
they
must have
said.
paid, I said, y'all must have paid a pretty penny for your permit. And he said, no, they didn't get a permit. I'm like, wow. And I saw the police, nearby.
Yeah.
And
You can pay for police guards if you're crossing a street or in a major intersection.
well, they were
So,
just making sure that nothing was gonna happen. I'm just saying, it's just kind of strange how some
Yeah.
organization, and I don't even know if it was an organization, but it was just an impromptu march. It was like the day before, they just said, we're gonna meet here, and then that was
Ah,
it. So,
well,
anyway,
that may have been, if it was an impromptu thing, they just took
yeah,
their chances.
okay. Just FYI.
Okay.
I think it was the same way because there was also a march or a rally held last month for concerning the Palestinians.
That's,
And I bet they didn't have I don't know if they had a permit either, but I think it's the impromptu, the spontaneous ones.
I guess that's the difference. Yeah, we
I think
can't.
that's the difference.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
there's a
don't, I
lot
don't
of,
know if we had insurance in the earlier events. But I'm pretty convinced that's
that's a
a
huge expense.
primary, it's not a big expense. It was
200 a little
$207.
better. than you
$200,
think.
right?
$200, yeah.
So right now, what we're looking at is a recommendation or from the board. You need support from us to go forward with planning this. And as you go forward with planning it, you would be checking in with Alice because she would make executive decisions,
Right.
whether it be permits or not permits. Is that correct?
Right. And the funds are there. We're just looking for permission to dip into them as needed.
And to plan the march, which I
Yeah.
personally think would be fantastic to
Well,
go back to more.
Yeah, it's still a coalition march.
Yeah,
But it is the funds that we've had from it in the past are in the league count still.
that's
And-
awesome.
And how much is it? Was it last year? I know it's probably in the financial records, but about how much did we spend last year?
We spent,
I think I've got it.
yeah.
now
Well,
probably-
3, 7, we actually lost money last year, but like I said, there were a whole lot of expenses on there. Let's see,
Okay, we
that's
still have,
5, 9, 1,250.
I have on the balance sheet that we still have $2,407.18 donations to the March 2022. No, that's the payday. I'm sorry.
Does
Well-
anybody have a copy of the budget for this year? I have looked.
I
I'm looking
do.
on my computer. What does the budget for the March say?
I'm just looking at income and expenses. I don't
No,
have.
the budget. It
There
should be a line item near the bottom of,
Okay, I have a
income and-
line item down here that says donations March 2022 Women's Equality Day celebration now held an escrow for the May 2024 suffrage procession event, and that's $2,407.18.
are you looking at the budget?
No,
It
I'm
sounds
looking
like
at
the treasurer report.
statement. I don't have
No,
the
what I'm
budget.
looking for is the budget. And I can't find my annual workbook or anything.
Oh, I've got the annual workbook. Hang on.
Okay. I'm just looking what we budgeted for it this year.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we're-
It's 3,000. We have 3,000 budgeted March for the vote. Well, it said 2023 was 3,000, but
There should be a budget report for 2023, 2024 in
yeah,
the
well,
Here it
annual
is.
workbook. Okay.
3,000.
Did we find it already? Because I've got the annual workbook,
Yeah. It's on
Uh,
page 8.
page 8. Thank you. Somebody else also obviously has it too.
And then
It's not women's, okay, yeah, someone just said the $3,394.
well,
Was budgeted.
Was-
It's a
no,
20,
That's
no,
income.
Chris, you know what I'm
It's-
looking
It
for?
says
What did you-
3,000 proposed budget for March,
Okay.
March the vote, 2024, 3,000.
All right,
Okay,
great.
but, okay, if you go under with the financial report for that year,
I
22,
don't want I
23.
don't need the
She just needs
financial
the
report.
3,000.
I've
Yeah,
got
you're
the
good. You-
financial report,
okay,
But-
and
but
But
I've
the
got the information I need, Liz.
Okay,
Yeah.
because the expenses were
Okay.
2,900. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
right now that, since you have the proposed budget was 3,000, we're streamlining it, so it's probably gonna be less, but you know that's what we dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna work on the numbers, talk to Alice about it. But before we do that, we need someone to make a motion from the board that we do recommend that they pursue a smaller march and continue communicating with Alice on executive decisions, right?
It's essentially one of the foundations for the league, the march from 1916, 1913.
I
get the
think it's
dates
awesome.
mixed up. So it
Okay.
needs it. I
Okay,
think
well,
it needs to be acknowledged.
yeah, I make a motion that we acknowledge our women's right to vote, March, and that we go ahead and continue the proposed streamline budget for this year's March. If that's okay.
Is there a second to that motion? Second,
We have any board members left?
Wait a minute. Hang on.
There's Timothy, Tim, Brittany, Alex,
Eli?
Eli.
1, 2, 3.
Someone said second. Who said second?
Okay,
There's
wait a minute.
Eli.
We need to make sure we have a quorum. Just a second. Have we
We do.
lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes, we
7.
have a quorum. We have a quorum.
we do, and Tim made a second.
Eli made a second.
Tim Dowling.
Tim. Okay.
Okay.
We have a motion on the floor to proceed with March the vote. And it would be streamlined and less budget, and they will communicate with President Hawkins on it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a vote, yes or no? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Eli, Brittany,
Aye.
Alex.
Brittany.
Aye.
Okay, so it's a unanimous vote, Liz.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lois.
thank you all for
Okay.
doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anel.
Ah,
Thank you so
It's-
much, Lois. and
Thank you
Annelle.
all.
Bye, you
I
all.
look
Have
forward to
fun.
it. I would like to help. It's
Yay.
6:30. We should probably not put DEI at the end. I apologize for our mission to put diversity, equity, and inclusivity
I
at the
think
forefront
next
of
time-
our organization, but it's at the end of our agenda. Eli,
Yes, I'm so sorry. My hotspot went out right when you were about to call me, I think. So I apologize, but I dropped the link to my report in the chat. I'll be hosting a DE&I committee meeting on the 24th at 4 p.m. at 702 Furman. So please come, please join. I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody as well in hopes of getting a very excited and diverse crew. It'll be also discussing some of the library board stuff, which is a very, very big DE&I issue. So please reach out to me directly if you have any questions, and that is my report.
And Eli, I will suggest that we move you up to the head of the agenda. The past couple times, you've been very accommodating and kind about the fact that you've been kind of dropped to the bottom, and that's not right. So I'll recommend you go first next time.
Whatever y'all want to do, I always will keep it to 5 minutes, regardless of where I'm at.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. Okay.
okay. So we had at the end of the agenda that we could do league business from 6:20 to 6:30. It is 6:30. Does anybody see any further need?
Presiding
Chris?
president, can I mention that if we're going to produce a voter for the month of January, we need to, I'll work directly with Alice and with you, Julie. I know I've got your report. Everybody that spoke, there's enough to put together a short voter. I don't know if we can get it out by January 13th, but
Yeah.
somebody else could handle promoting second Saturday, as long as we just have a publication maybe that highlights what's coming up, focus on voter guides. I'll work with Alex on a story that could pull together what the league will be doing, and maybe use her calendar through February. We didn't get to talk about candidate forums, but I know Alex, is kind of moving in some direction there to have some candidate forums or at least discuss it. So if I could just, since I don't have a vote on the board, could I just say I'll reach out to all of you in the next couple of days to see what might be coming in for a very down and dirty quick issue of the January voter and set the deadline myself, if that's okay.
No,
Good.
I think that's awesome. And it's a good recommendation to go ahead and get the word out on the 13th. And Brittany just put something in the notes that she can push it through social media. And I had talked to Alice about that too, that we could at least maybe just send out an email on that meeting and get
Yeah.
the ball rolling for this new year, which is our half a year. And we had Ruth Falk on. She had to leave, it looks like, but she's trying to work on the nominations for next year, because before you know it, it's going to be the annual meeting. But yes, Chris, proceed as you are doing, and thank you for everything you do. And
Well, I wanted to visit with Ruth, and I'll, that we need a nominating committee report in the January issue, that which positions are coming up for election. There's a lot that needs to be, we can set the stage in January, and I'll work with Alice and with Ruth on that story. We need to know what vacancies might be coming up and things like that, because there is a timeline to reach out and make
a big
phone
one.
calls to see if people want to come on board the board. And that doesn't just happen in a flash, that takes several weeks to get those people lined up. So to say they would
Yeah.
serve. So I'll follow up with Alice on that as well.
thank you, because I'm after like, what is it, 4 or 5 years, I'm learning the patterns. So it's that time of year. All right. Even though it's a new year, it's our half year. We got a lot of great work to do, and it's wonderful to do it with you all. So we'll see you all. I wanted to say February again. We'll see you on January 13th.
Great.
Liz and
Del Mar.
Alex,
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
So are
Year.
you,
Calling for
are you
an
adjourning? Julie?
Now the meeting is officially adjourned at 6:36. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. All right.
Yeah.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Alex, will you stay on for a few minutes? My husband's here, so you can tell us what things you need me to, that you want to transmit to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carrie, I don't know. Anyway, when do you want to transmit to me, and he can tell you if, Carrie, if it's
So,
desktop.
I just have 2 Google Sheets, so they're like an Excel sheet that we have been using for a while now. One is a bunch of emails and contacts for high schools that could be helpful for you, Liz. And then
Okay.
the other one is kind of like just where we've done voter registration before and who has like volunteered at those locations. It's like an ongoing list that I fill out every time we go and do voter registration.
Okay, if it's on Google Docs, that shouldn't be a problem, should it, to go to my desktop, Carrie?
Is it Google Docs and then Google Sheets?
It's pretty much the same thing. It's just an Excel sheet, but
Okay.
so it's just called Google Sheets, but it
Okay.
is the same like platform as a Google Doc.
Okay,
So is that okay to transmit then?
it should be.
Give it a shot.
Okay, I will email them to you and share them with you, and then let me know if you run into any issues accessing.
Okay,
Yeah.
could I ask you if you could wait till tomorrow? Are you gonna be around? Can I ask you to wait until tomorrow? Sandy has sent me a ton of emails with all sorts of lists, communications between herself, Eli, and Raul, and it may be the same thing. And if I can get a chance to review them tonight and tomorrow, I may already have it on. I don't know.
One of them, me and Eli made last year, I believe.
Okay.
So I mean, I would think it would be easier for me to just share these with you than for you to have to dig through a bunch of emails, but
Okay.
I'm happy to send them to you tomorrow if you prefer
Would you,
that.
I tell you what, let me go ahead and, because I mean, I've got stacks that I've downloaded from her that it's easier for me to print so that way I can check them off and have a record.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you could just wait, I tell you what, just send them to me tomorrow morning, because
Okay.
that way I have a dated system. So if you could just go ahead and just email it just put it on your list of to-do things for tomorrow morning and just send it to me.
Okay, perfect. I can
Is
definitely.
that okay? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I'm hoping that we can open up that Google Sheets with Excel. It probably has a translator or something.
Yeah, the nice thing about using it in Google Sheets is like you can update it and then I'll see it. So like
Okay.
it'll real time like update it and we can both be in there together and we don't have to like keep sending back an Excel sheet. So it
Okay.
just, that's the thing I kind of like about it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So are you okay with this, Carrie?
I don't know. Do we need to install a special application to view Google Sheets?
You shouldn't have to. I mean, if you are familiar and have used Google Docs before and didn't have to download anything, it should be
Yeah,
fine.
I'm just not familiar with it at all at this point.
I thought she said it was okay for us to put Google Docs on my computer, on my desktop.
It is, but I just need to see it first.
I say give it a shot. If we can open it up, fine. If we can't, then we'll figure it out.
Okay, and this here, I'll just share my screen. So this is just what it looks like.
I'm sorry, it's on a very small screen with my iPad.
Okay.
So I mean, I would just like share it with you through your email. So I mean, I can just try right now. Oh wait, what is your email?
It's C Riggle.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So you should get an email and then you should be able to open that up. And then the nice thing is that like you can add stuff, type stuff. It's pretty much just like a real-time updating version of Excel. So it's just like you need Wi-Fi, you need internet using it. And then here's the other one. So I'll share that with you too.
I've been getting that's all the documents that Sandy's been sending me today.
Oh, I actually already shared this to you.
Yeah.
Alex, since you're
Yes.
sharing your screen, can I suggest you show them how to get to Google Docs? They don't have to download anything, do they? Don't they just go to Google?
I have to.
Yeah, you'll just follow that link that I sent you.
Okay.
And I mean, let me see.
Because this looks like an Excel spreadsheet here.
It's exactly the same. It's just in real time
Okay.
with internet. So it's easier to like collaborate on it and not having to send back and forth the same doc. You can just work on it together.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay. And yeah, and then I'll